Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
Welcome back to my channel, Shilpa Data Insights. In today's video, we are going to discuss one major hot topic that is related to AI. Databricks has introduced Genie Space, and this is introduced recently, and the last update was in April 27, right? So we will be discussing what is Genie Space, how exactly you can use it, what benefits you will have if in case you use it, and also how businesses are using the Genie Space. So I will give you some real world examples with it as well. So let's get started first to understand what is Genie Space. So what is a Genie Space? Genie Space is a Databricks feature that allows the business team to interact with their data in natural language processing. What we do as a developer is we actually write code, a SQL code or a Python code in order to visualize our data, in order to gain some insights. But if you are giving the same data to a business analyst or a stakeholder, they may not be very much well aware of the SQL queries, right? So in that case, it's better for them to understand the data with the help of normal natural language. For example, what is the sales for this particular month? So they don't know how to write a query for it. So it will be easier if you just go ahead and have a space where they can just write the question and you will get the answer with it. And there itself, the role plays for Genie Space. It uses generative AI tailored to your organization terminology and data with the ability to monitor and refine its performance through user feedback. So it will allow to go ahead and query any data set, and it will try to understand the data set of the organization itself, right? And whatever query you will be firing for Genie Space, it is going to give you the result by actually firing the SQL or a Python query in the backend. So Genie Space uses a SQL query itself. It fires the SQL query, it gives you the data back. So in the overview, we have domain experts such as data analysts. They configure the Genie Space with a data set, a sample query, and some text guidelines to help Genie translate the business question with analytical queries. Now, after you set up this particular Genie Space, you can give the Genie Space to business user who can actually ask the question and generate the visualization to understand the data itself. And you can actually update the Genie semantic knowledge as your data actually changes. So there are some example use case that Databricks has provided. You can go through this, and how exactly it does it. It actually gives you the queries back, right? So that you can run the query, you can do a modification itself. You can also test whether the query that is working is right or not before actually handing it over to the business. Now, in this, what I found very useful is you can set up a Genie Space. It is actually linked to your Unity catalog, so you don't have to worry about what permissions to give. So if a business stakeholder has some permission for a particular table, that remains as it is, right? So it is not going to change. So that actually helps in trusting the assets. So let's go ahead and check in the Databricks. You can use this in the Databricks free edition itself. So if you see, I have my Databricks free edition, and on the left side you have some home and all. You can go to the Genie Space here. In this Genie Space, if you click on this Genie Space, something like this will come. So it says ask question about your data in natural language. Natural language means simple plain English, right? Rather than just asking a query, writing a query, you are just asking it in a layman terms as you are speaking, right? That is actually a natural language. Now, how you can set up this particular Genie Space is by clicking on this new. You see it says connect your data. So if you click on all, there are some data. So I'll be using a sample data that Databricks provides in order to actually play around with it and actually to learn. So we have samples. In this particular sample, you can see there is a Bakehouse, there is other data set as well. Let me see which one can I choose. I can choose my New York taxi. I'll choose the trips table and I will go ahead and create it up. So if I click on this create button, now you see what happens. It's very interesting. Now you see here it says NYC taxi trip analytics. If in case you want to change the name of this particular Genie Space, you can do it in the right section. You have an about the space. So what you can do is you click on edit, and let me just do a demo so that I'm just giving a demo, let's say to my YouTubers, to my audience, or you are putting it to a stakeholder. You can put a demo to the stakeholder, right? So you put a name to it. Now you have a key. You can also tag it up so that you know which particular data set should go to which particular stakeholder. Now you can also create a thumbnail, right? Which is really interesting. Like you have a YouTube thumbnail that you click on and you see that this is what it is. So you can actually drop a thumbnail here and browse it up, right? And you can put it so that you have a good visualization of what this New York taxi trip analysis is all about. So I'll just go ahead and change the name. I'll click on save. Now you see all these details. Here it's an interesting thing that you really need to take a note is the description. And it says what exactly is this particular data set is all about. So I'm not given any kind of description right now. AI automatically generates it. You can do a modification also if you want. So for example, for this particular data set, it says that it provides the data to analyze New York City taxi trip patterns, fares and distances by pickup and drop off location. So you have pickup, drop, and the patterns and the fares. Now, if I click on expand all, it's going to show me what is the capability of this particular data set. It analyzes the trend in trip distance, fare amount, trip frequency over time, compare the pickup and drop off activities, and also identify the pickup usage periods and geographic hotspot for taxi routes. Now, it also has some limitation for this particular data set that AI figured out. So it just says that it actually does not include the passenger counts, passenger types, payment types, right? So this may be in a different particular data set, right? So you can also select that data set. You can do a joinings and also I will show you that how exactly it's done. Now, it also gives you some common questions, that these are some common questions that you can actually ask in order to create this particular Genie space. Now, what about data? Now it says that this is the table that you selected. If you want to select more tables, you can definitely click on add and you can select the tables as we did it in the last time. Now, if you want to see what all columns it has, right, and what exactly is there, you click on this edit, you see the columns. There is a pickup date time, drop off date time, trip distance, fare amount, pickup zip, drop off zip, and so on. Now, in the instruction, you see there are few tabs. First tab is the text. Okay, second is joins, third is SQL expression. What does text means? Text means you can add any kind of instruction you want this Genie space to have. For example, you want to have that this particular data set has 5 columns, and pickup, what does pickup time mean? What does drop off time mean? Right? All these details you can mention it about your Genie space. Now, let's say if you have multiple tables, right? And you want to do a joining operation on the top of it, you click on add, you can select your left table, you can select your right table, you can mention what kind of joining condition is it. So let me show you that I'm just selecting, this will be a self join because both of the tables are same, right? You can put a join condition on what column, key column you need to actually join. So see, this is what it is. And now what type of relationship it is. And how should this join be used? Like when exactly it needs to be used, right? So that also you can go ahead and provide. Now you see there's a lot of things here. But it's very simple. You don't have to write a code. You can just do a drag and drop, like you can select it up. It's a choice that you can make. This is similar to something like Tableau or Power BI where you are actually trying to visualize the data, right? So it's almost similar to that. I could see that has been developed. And if in case you want to also write a SQL expression, let's say it's not a straight join, you have subqueries and so on, right? You can also write your SQL expression here. That you can actually write it in SQL query, right? So you have some example for the query that you can add, like select column and so on, right? Now in the SQL expression, you can actually have some business concept as SQL expression, like what condition you need to go ahead and filter on. Let's say for state, it's CA or something, right? What filter condition you want to put. Or if in case you want to put some measure, what kind of dimension is it? You can also actually go ahead and put all these things. Now, you understand what is exactly the data set all about, right? How you can put the instruction. This is a very major part it actually plays. And this is actually also very helpful in debugging process. So as I mentioned, I'll give you a real use case. How exactly we use in the project is mostly what I specifically have used is in the debugging process, right? Let's say what is the data about? Let's say you are giving the data to a data science team and the data is not matching from the source. Why exactly it's not matching? You just mention those instruction, you figure out, right? You put your question there and it's going to give you the result. It's that simple as that. So let me show you. Okay, let me go ahead and do a very simple example here as what is a monthly count of trips based on pickup date and time. Okay, I've given this question to my chat. Okay, so I can select a chat, I can select an agent. Here it has selected an agent. Agent means it's going to do a deeper analysis and reasoning to answer your data question, right? So it's going to analyze your monthly count of trips based on the pickup date and time for New York taxi. So you can see that it's trying to think and it's actually gave me the result as monthly trip counts by pickup date. So shows 2 months of trip data from January and February 2016. And January has 10,000 trips, February has 11,000 trips. So that's what it actually looks like here, right? So let me go ahead and ask a different kind of a question, right? So let's say, what kind of data is it? So if you want to go back to the data set and configure, you can click on this configure and you can click on this data, right? So I want to see what all columns it has. So I can maybe see for which particular zip code the most amount of pickup has been done. Okay, so for which zip code the most pickup is done. Okay, so let's say I am just putting this question. Now in this particular question, it's going to find the right data set. It's trying to do a step-by-step plan, right? Last time I created an agent, like I clicked on agent. This time I'm just clicking on chat because I just want to chat with this AI, Jenny space, and see what is the result. I don't want to create a step-by-step process here. So it's going to do a preliminary result. It says, this is my pickup zip, that is 100001, and there are total 1227 pickups for this particular zip code. That's the highest number of pickups from this particular zip code. So how exactly the business is going to analyze? Okay, I need to go ahead and have more taxis in this zip code because there are more pickups from this particular zip code, right? So here it shows me the result. If in case you want to see the code for this particular question that you actually gave to the Jenny space, so you click on show code. It says, see, it's a little bit subqueries with it, right? So you can see the efficiency of it. It can actually write a code which is having subqueries. It's complex query. It's just not the select star from the table, right? So here it has actually done a select, it has done a count, it has done a rank, and from this, and where the pickup zip is not null, which is very clever because if it is null, there's no point, right? So to actually get that pickup, so it has actually done it and group by, and then it has actually calculated the what is the pickup count for a pickup zone, right? Now if in case you want to download this, also you can click on download all rows and it is going to download up to 1 GB of data. Okay, now in this, would you prefer to see only zip code with most pickup even if there are ties? That is what it says, right? Can you give me the fair amount for this pickup zone? Okay, so let me just see if it can give me some pickup fair amount that is there for this particular pickup zone, right? So I'm actually giving the same question, right? And it is storing the question, the previous question in the memory and trying to give me the result depending on the next question, right? So it has a memory also. So this is actually, again, it's trying to inspect. If you want to stop it, you can cancel the inspection as well. It is doing a preliminary check, as I think it will take some time to do it, but not as much time as you are going to write the query for this, right? So this is actually really helpful. So see, for pickup zone, these are the fair amounts it has given me. That is, the average fair amount is $10. The minimum fare is 0.01, the maximum fare is 54, and the total fare calculated from this zone is this much across this trip. So by having the fare amount also, you can also have an analysis whether you really want to increase the taxi count for this particular pickup zone or not, right? So that is also whether it's a short duration pickup or it's a huge distance pickup that has been done. So if I do it, see, it has given me in a row format, right? This is my pickup zip, this is my trip count, this is my average fare, total fare, minimum fare, maximum fare. Because my question was a little bit in a very wider format, give me the fare amount. So it has given me every fare amount. What is the trip count, average, total, minimum, max. You can also tell it what is the minimum fare, what is the maximum fare, right? If you just want be specific also, that will also help in actually calculating the things, right? Now let's say what you need to do is, these are some questions, so I'll not go much into detail here. What the next thing is, there is a monitor tab. So you can click on this monitor tab and you can see how much questions are being asked, how many unique users are there, right? And who actually queried it, because you are working in a team, right? So you can also see each other's code, what exactly queries are being done. You can analyze the space usage, right? And there is a benchmark. So you can see what kind of evaluation you have done. You can add a benchmark that this question is right, this question is not, right? So you can add a benchmark to it. So this is what is actually all about GeniSpace. So let's go to the dashboard and see how exactly the dashboard looks like. So this is my dashboard, right? You can create a new dashboard from here, right? You can view some sample galleries are there. So what we will do is, right now, I will create a new dashboard. So what I will click on, I'll create a dashboard. And in this dashboard, let's say what it says. It actually wants me to select the data that I want to go ahead and use. So I'll click on add data set. I'll use the trips. I'll click on add, right? This is my data set that is actually used. Okay. So let's see what it says. So this is my preview of my data set. This is my measure. So just represent the number of rows in data set, and this is my dimension. Okay. So let's say what exactly I want to do. I will click on the add visualization. In this add visualization, give me the fare amount for each trip. Okay, so let's say what does it say? And it's going to visualize that. Okay, so if you see this, what I created it up, right? And this is my New York taxi trip analysis. You can actually edit your title here. This is similar to like a Tableau or Power BI interface itself. So how much total trips is there? What is the daily trend by day of the week, right? What is the drop off hour of distribution? What is the pickup distribution? So let's say I want to go ahead and change this particular thing, right? So if I click on this, and there are some widgets, right? This is in a bar format. Let's say I really just want it in a line format. Okay, so if I click on line, you see it actually got changed, right? And if in case you want to change the color of this to, let's say, to this, right, you can also change the color. And in the y-axis, as there's a count, you can also do count. You can also change the y-axis of this, right? So there are a lot of features here that you can actually use to actually visualize this dashboard. Then once this dashboard is ready, then you can actually share it among others. Let's say you have multiple team members, you can actually go ahead and select their email address and you can add them as the user as well, right? Or you can actually publish it as well to showcase to your leadership team. Now you can also add this to your favorite so that it's always been there in your favorite, right? And one more thing that I want to add is, if you go to the Lakehouse, right? In this Lakehouse, it says, do you want to leave? Okay, because there were some changes made, so I don't want to save it. So let's see, what does the Lakehouse give me? It does not give me the Lakehouse actually. It is giving me something else. So let me go to the Genie. Okay, in this Genie, you see you have New York trip taxi analysis, right? So either you can click on this and you can start asking it. Okay, if you click on it, it's going to go ahead and give you a different interface itself. In this interface, the same dashboard it's going to open. But let's say if you click on the chat, right, it's going to go ahead and you can ask any question. Let's say you can also ask this question and you want to go ahead and run this question every day, Monday morning at 10 a.m., right? So you can schedule that task as well. So for example, I've clicked on the schedule task. You can click on create in, you can click on schedule task, you can create in chat, right? And this is what is being I've created, right? So for example, yesterday I ran it, right? Can you tell the sum revenue for all trips? This is the instruction that I gave, and this is going to run every Friday that I selected, only on Friday at 10 p.m., right? So you have to select what duration you want to go ahead and run this. If you want to run it now, you can do it. If you want to edit it, right, you can give the different instruction. You can give it, let's say, on the week, maybe on Saturday. Maybe I'm recording this again at 9 o'clock, so I'll just keep it at 10, right? And I can save it, right? So on Saturday, this is going to run at 10 and it's going to notify me in the email address that I have associated with it. You can click on run history and you can see whether it ran it or not. So how exactly it's going to show you is this: total trip revenue, what is the summary, and so on, right? And you can also see what is the code that actually was there, that was used in order to fetch this particular result. So this schedule task is actually really important. For example, on Monday, every day I have to run some task to see if my pipelines have succeeded. I can create a job for this particular thing and I can schedule it every Monday and it's going to give me the report for it. Now, in this, again, I would say just to play around with this, right? This is a very cool feature that is there. What exactly it's doing in the backend, it's using the serverless cluster, right? You can select the serverless cluster. Right now, I've selected automatic because on the best available warehouse that's there, Databricks is going to select by its own, right? So what we learned today is actually very cool because it will help you automate the things and will make your work easier and make you productive so that you can invest your time in something else. So we learned about the Databricks Genie space. Then we also learned about the dashboards. We learned about the monitoring benchmark and also how exactly you can schedule the task. The schedule task is a very cool feature and it's a new feature which is in preview right now. Maybe they will launch it for everyone. Okay, so you can also do that using the Databricks Genie, right? So maybe in some other session, I am going to go ahead and give you some introduction related to Lakehouse so that you can also start building things up in the Lakehouse. So till the next video, stay tuned. If you like this video, then do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends, and keep learning and keep growing.
Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.